Hey everyone, welcome back. It's another episode of Finance and Vibes. It's your boy OC, Joe, Ife, and of course Izazi. Y'all know the vibes. So to last week's episode was great, man. We talked about retirement, how early is too early. Got great feedback. Shout out to Zazy for revamping the branding and the video. I got really
Yes,
great feedback
sir.
that they liked the video. So shout out to Zazy for that. Um, so today we're going to be talking about finance and relationships. And that's a big topic, especially for us, millennial slash Gen Z, talking about like, oh, how much is too much for a first date? Like, dang, I want a high value man, or women saying, oh, I can't date a broke man, somebody who earns less than me. Like there's a lot of conversations around finances and relationships these days. And I think, it's largely due to obviously the shift. We obviously like 40, 50, 60 years ago, men were typically sort of as a sole provider in most, high paying fields. We see men being the dominant, obviously, gender. But now we're seeing a lot of transition where women are obviously coming into the workforce and women are also breaking barriers and entering higher paying fields. So obviously, relationships look very different now than they did like 40 years ago. So with that said, what's the first thing I want to talk about, guys? I want to talk about like, as a guy or a girl, would you date somebody who earns less than you? Or do you want to talk about like what's the ideal goal for a first date? What are you thinking of, Zazy?
Let's start simple. Let's start with first dates.
First dates. All right. Joe, talk to me.
All right, so on the first date, for me personally, right, is like the main topic that comes here is paying on the first date and stuff like that. How do you? I mean, I personally think I don't know. Maybe it's controversial right now in this generation, but I think the guy should pay. That's my personal view. Some people
Interesting.
think the women should like pick it up if I guess if they would want to make the advance or whatever. But I think like when it comes to first date, just it doesn't take anything. You could pay. When it comes to like what you do on the first date, I think that depends on your level. You get what I'm saying? You can't go beyond your level on the first date. If you're making big money, your first date can be anything. But if you're like yeah, just a regular, average 9 to 5, yeah, you're coming up. You don't have to go all the way out. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, that's my opinion. But I think the guy should pay on the first date. That's where I'm at with it right now.
So let me ask a question first before we go to Ife.
Yeah.
Let's say someone like Uzazi, chemical engineer, making six figures, all that good stuff, right? Let's say she likes this
Yeah.
young dude who is working in a fast food restaurant. He's a waiter. He's a really handsome dude, 6 feet, checks all her boxes, handsome, stalked. But he works at McDonald's as a cashier, earning $8 an hour. So what he can afford is to literally take her on a date at McDonald's. But
Yeah.
what is wrong? What is wrong with Uzazi saying, you know what? Let me take you to Benihana. Let me take you to Fogo de Chao. Let me take you to Capitol Grill. And I'll foot the bill. You know why? Because I got that bread and you don't. You can't afford to. What's wrong with that? Equality? Come on now. Am I preaching to
I don't
somebody?
know,
Equality.
man.
Come on.
Man,
Uzazi, what
at
you
that point,
thinking? Like, is there anything wrong with a woman footing the bill in that situation?
in my
Look,
in my opinion, yeah,
okay.
my ego will be bruised. I ain't gonna lie. My ego
Oh,
will be
man.
bruised all the way, man.
Oh
Is
man,
it,
But
that's
is,
kind
I
of
is
don't
it,
that's
know.
kind of weird for
Do you
me.
think it's
that's, hold
we're
up.
starting on the
That sounds like your personal problem, doesn't it?
Personal opinion. I feel like if you're okay with that, that's fine. Like if you're fine with as a girl footing the bill, that's there's nothing wrong with
What are
that.
you
But
fine with, though? What are you
in
fine with?
my in my opinion, I feel like especially if I was on my own and you
Hmm.
came to ask me out and I took my time to get dressed, look nice, put on makeup, put everything on, you owe me at least, I don't know, that's the minimum for my time, right? Because as a guy, you can just get up, go in the shower, put on your clothes, and you're done. So I feel
Hmm.
like at the
I
minimum,
guess so.
probably, you're paying for my time. But that's my
Doesn't that seem
opinion.
transactional to you, though?
Bro, everything is transactional.
Everything is
bro.
transactional, bro.
Oh no, but okay, but let me ask you a question. No, I agree with you. If the man approaches you, so 2 questions. If the man approaches you, right, he's taking you out on a date. That's fair. First question on that. Would you be okay if he takes you out? Maybe there's a man that clearly doesn't make as much as you. Because let's be real, not every, especially black women, not every black woman is in the league where she earning 6 figures or more. So chances are you're probably, especially, and also by statistics, last I checked, only 10% of Americans or something along that line is earning 6 figures. So like even among black men is maybe down to like 3-4%. So it's only 4% of black men are earning 6 figures. So it's easy. Among your dating pool, the chances are 96% of men that come across you are earning less than you. So my question is, if a man that approaches you says, hey, what I can afford is to take you to Chili's or Applebee's, or let not say McDonald's, because I mean you can do better than McDonald's, but let's say they can take you to Applebee's, right, which is like a easy for 2 people $25-$30 date. Would you be cool with that?
Also, like, we also have to remember people date for different reasons, right? So
No, answer my question. No.
Why are you
Don't deflect.
deflecting?
Don't deflect.
Wait, hold on. Because why are we going straight to how much this guy makes when, like, I just met him? So
No.
it's the kind of thing where,
I'm not going straight to that. I'm asking you a question. Let's say you're used to a certain type of date.
Okay, but how would I know how much he makes, or how much? Yeah, how would I know how much he makes just by him?
No, you don't. No. The question was.
Revamp it, bro.
Hold on, Ife. The question was, would you be okay if he even takes you to a date like Applebee's for the first date? Because that's what he can afford.
I mean, yeah, sure. And also, like, you cannot judge by the restaurant, because there's also rich people that are just frugal.
Fair enough. Touche. So that's fair. So second question I was going to ask. So based on your logic, he approached you. No, you're not on the spot. This is for everybody else. He approached you, and he's paying for your time. I 1,000% agree with that. So what if in the situation where the women approach us, should they be paying for the date? So contrary to what Joe just said, if the women are the ones doing the approaching, should they be paying for the date?
Man, like, what do you think? Go ahead. If women approach you,
bro. To be honest, man, which women are approaching you first of all? Because that's number one. Number two, number two, it's like, even I'm gonna talk generally speaking now. Even if a woman approaches you, as a man, you still have to be the one that kind of like initiate the date. So I would understand a man paying. Like me personally, even if a woman should approach me, I am most likely gonna pay for the first date, because honestly, it just feels kind of off.
Oh my God! Wow!
That's just me though. Like, even if a woman approaches me, I just feel like as a man, as a guy, it's your responsibility to, like, guide where it's going. You understand?
Oh my God, I got some Sims up in here. I'm kidding.
Bro, it's not even about simping though, but
I'm kidding. Yeah, if I spend that now, this guy would be splurging on big money spender.
If we're being realistic, I feel like this is never black and white. It's all down to
Agreed. Right.
What are you comfortable with?
Right. No, and to be fair, let me speak plainly. To be fair, I'm also that kind of person. I'm just like, obviously I have to play devil's advocate here, but honestly, me personally speaking, I'm always that kind of person that I'll pay on the first date, and I obviously will pay, as needed. So personally speaking, I totally understand that totally. But yeah. So switching gears here, we talked about that. So let's talk about dating. Men on the panel, are you okay dating somebody who earns less than you?
It's a very tricky topic, bro, to be very honest, because it comes down to this, right? And I like that question, because it comes down to this. If you're dating someone who makes less than you, you gotta also be conscious of, okay, let's say you're dating to, like, be together in the long run, right? You gotta be conscious that you are most likely, honestly, like, generally speaking, guys are supposed to be like, providers and everything, but how much do you want to provide? That's the question. Let's say you're making 100K, standard 100K. At the end of the day, you're only getting about 40K to spend, because you got to pay bills, you got to invest, you got to pay taxes. If she's making 50K, she's getting about 20, 25K to spend. blah, 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 right? So that means going forward, you're going to be doing a lot more work. You're going to be spending a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you have someone who's like on your level, right? Okay, you're making 100K, she's making 100K, she's making 90K. If you're living off of 50K and she still has 50K, do you know you can make more money with that 50K? So me personally, it's not like I'm against being with someone who makes less money, but I would want to be with someone who makes around the same money as I do. So I know for a fact there's more we can do with this money to secure our future. You understand?
Right. Fact. Yeah, and going on that, what you think, Joe?
This I haven't put too much thought into this, so this is me just throwing stuff against the wall right now.
Joe makes enough money; he don't give a damn.
For me, right, this is I like when someone I like autonomy. You get what I'm saying? Where you can survive on your own, like regardless. Makes me wonder. So if we come together, right, it's out of like we're doing it for a bigger reason, not like somebody is gaining and the other person is like a mutual relationship.
Right. Mutually beneficial.
So, like, I feel like even if you're not earning like as much as I am, I need to see, or I'm not earning as much as you are. I need to see vice versa. I need to see like, okay, this person has initiative. You get what I'm saying?
Bring value. Yeah.
Like person is gonna like will hustle. It's not like what's the parasitic relationship where I just have to.
It's not a drain. It's not a liability on your finances. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that, especially because like I was saying before, right? If you're making money and you're with somebody who, okay, let's look at two people, like person A, person B. Person A is making 100K. Person B married to person A making 50K, right? When you get with person A, you want to live the lifestyle that person A is living, right? And it's like for you to live the lifestyle person A is living, he's giving up on things. You feel me? He has to like, okay, for instance, if he's driving a Lamborghini and you're driving a Toyota, now you want to drive a Range Rover. He's paying for your Range Rover, but like, let's not like everything in relationships is technically transactional. Like, what is the benefit for this person who's putting you on this lifestyle? Like,
exactly,
everything has to come at a cost.
Real quick, let's get Zay's thoughts on that.
So you said dating someone that earns less?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, personally, I personally would not do that because, like you guys were saying, it's almost like a liability to take on someone else's burden. I'm fine with around the same or higher, but way lower. If the disparity is a lot, I don't think I can do that because, especially since I'm very privileged, I know that, I acknowledge that, I grew up with a certain lifestyle, continued throughout college, was able to get, by God's grace, a job after school. I don't know what's the benefit for me? Yes, love, but what's the benefit for me if I am reducing my lifestyle standards for someone else? I came into this world alone.
I got a question for you. What disparity is too much for you? What disparity is too much for you? Is it? Oh yeah, let's
talk numbers.
Standard 100K.
Hold on. Hold on. Let's talk numbers. What is the threshold below which if a man is earning this, you're good? Let's talk numbers.
I like that.
Wait, can you guys remind me of the tax brackets in America?
Oh shit!
I'm not even sure.
Man, I don't know, man.
I can't rember.
But that's not relevant. What is the threshold? What is the number?
No, because I feel like you have to be in the same tax bracket.
Most people are in the same tax bracket anyway.
I don't.
Okay, I'll tell you. For singles, the 10% tax bracket is up to 9,875. 12% is 9,876 to 40,125. 22% is 40,126 to 85,525. Then 24%, which most of us are in, is 85,526 to 163,300. Or actually, most of us, yeah. 32% is 163,301. So most of us are in the 24% to 32% tax bracket. So 163,301 to 207,350. So I'm guessing your threshold is the 85,526. If you earn less than that, you're good.
Yeah.
Wait, this is not like a set rule or anything.
Right. It's just like it's obviously other things to consider, but it's just like
Exactly.
it's a soft rule that if you earn less than this, Uzizi is probably good to go. She's good on that. Girl, no,
I
talk
mean,
your shit. I respect that. Talk your stuff, man. I respect that. So I mean,
It's a
and
safe
that's fair.
space.
That's fair because it's fair because I totally understand as a woman why you may definitely want a man to earn more, especially, just given the fact that, like, I think there's the statistics that women in relationships or marriage tend to be, I guess, more stressed out than women who are single. So, man, you're gonna stress a woman out. At least you got to be bringing in bread, right? So I respect that. I can understand that. But let's go with the plugin. What's the plugin today, guys? Let's plug in. I mean, y'all already know. I already plugged in my stuff. Follow me on social media. Easy Finances for you, or both on IG. So letter E, letter Z, Finances, number 4, letter U, both on IG and Twitter. Patreon link in the description below. You know the vibes. Joe, what are we saying?
Yeah, same Instagram, Twitter, Joe_D_Don. Also, me and Fair, we spoke about this before, but we're working on it. It will be coming on live soon. We have Melody Wines. It's basically like we just curate like top news for the wine community, and also frequently we sell like limited wine products and stuff like that. So that is coming soon. Is with me and Fair. Melody Wines. We'll be putting the link in the description and letting you guys know when it goes live.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, ActiveIfe, AKTIVEIFE. Same thing that Joe said. We're coming live soon with our platform, Melody Wines, where you can get wine accessories, wines, learn about pending wine news, So be on watch for that. Thank you.
Sure.
So I'm expecting more wine nights from you guys. Zazie, what are we saying?
For sure.
What are we saying? Plug in your stuff.
I don't use social media, but I'm working on something with my friend Kosi, and it's for girls in tech or girls that are looking to get into tech, and it's launching really soon. So
let's say less.
Oh shit!
So we've done the plug-in. Let's talk about
stuff. I got another question, right?
So this is the subtopic. We're talking about a subtopic now.
All right, subtopic, right? I got you. So what's the subtopic, guys?
All right. So for subtopic, I'm thinking this. Okay. So in a relationship, right? So there's a lot of things that come into play about, like, how to structure your finance. Like, should both couples be like aggressively investing? Should one be conservative and the other? What do y'all think is the best mix for like investing or growing your net worth together as a couple? Should one focus on investing? Should both be going on their parallel paths of investing, or should, I guess, both be conservative? Like, what do y'all envision is the ideal mix for like being in a relationship, considering your finance, especially couples who are working towards growing their net worth?
Yeah, so like that's how my last question was kind of structured, And I think it comes down to, let me just say there are two types of relationships. There are relationships where one party is basically solely dependent for finances, and there are relationships where both parties, there's some sort of make 50-50, 60-40, 10-90, blah, blah, blah. You get the point, right? I was saying the first makes where one party is solely taking care of everything. It's up to him to, follow the, 35, 25, that mixture. You have to, I wouldn't say aggressively invest, but be more towards that side, not towards the conservative side, because you know that you're solely responsible for the future of your family, right? Or the future of the relationship. And then when it comes to the, where there's a mixture like 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, we know for a fact that, okay, let's say one person is making more money than the other. I would say when it comes down to like, taking care of things in the household, one person should be focused on that, and the person that's saving more money in this relationship should be aggressively investing. So for instance, if you have a husband and a wife, let's say the husband is, solely responsible, or, has a bigger portion of things going on in the household. Yes, he also has to invest, he still follows his budget, but then on the other hand, the wife, even if she's not, spending a lot, paying for a lot of things in the household, spending a lot of her income, it should be aggressively going towards investing, because that is like the driver of the relationship. So I think it works perfectly if it, goes hand in hand like that.
Yeah. And I want to say this, like, people need to realize that, like, so for me, I'm a huge believer in, I realized I didn't even answer the last question. I'm a huge believer in, like, date someone in your class. I hate that word class, forgive me. Date someone in your tax bracket or higher, because marriage and relationship is one of the oldest hacks to generational wealth. Because without a doubt, if I'm big on, like, providing, and, like, for people who know me, they know I'm a hustler. Like, I do whatever, where provided is legal, provided it makes me bread, I'm in there. So I do have all intents to provide for my family and be in a position where I can even be the sole income provider if I want. But by all means, like, I know for a fact, my current relationship, like, it's definitely a case where my girl is in her bag and I'm in my bag too. And so that's the best way for me that I envision things going. And so with that said, though, like, definitely, like, in my opinion, is the oldest hack to, growing generational wealth, being in your bag. But more importantly, like, when it comes to even structuring, like, for me, I also believe that, I could be wrong. I believe that it's best that someone focuses on the conservative side of saving and growing the emergency funds, and another person focuses on the investing side. Because if both are too aggressive investing, then you can lose sight of, like, the balance. Is like the yin and yang concept. And also, like, it also works out, because I feel like in every relationship, somebody will be a better investor and let that be their focus, and the other will be a better, whether it's planner or just better with finances or just being conservative. And, it's best, you admit your strengths and weaknesses. I don't believe one person should handle everything finance. For a lot of us all of us are Nigerian. We notice that for a lot of us, our fathers, because obviously it's a misogynistic society, our fathers tend to take that role. And, like, sometimes it might not be the best way to split up finances, especially when there's a lot of concepts of finances.
I was just about to ask you, you said you want to be the provider. So where do you draw the line between just that being your own personal preference and versus being misogynistic, where it's like, yes, I'm the provider, I don't care what you say, kind of thing?
All right.
So, oh yeah, go ahead, Joe. You can take a stab at that if I take a stab at it.
This, like I said, autonomy, right?
Yeah.
There's a saying that you are who you are before you get there. Like, I feel like if you're going into any relationship, you are who you are before you go into that relationship.
Right.
If you're if you're a hustler and you're a provider, I don't think there should be like, when it comes to you, if you're a risk taker, right, and you're in a relationship, and I get it, take advice, consider other things, but I feel like your partner should know, okay, this guy takes risk. He might take certain risk, and it is what it is. You get what I'm saying? If you're conservative and your partner wants you to take more risk, you are not a risk taker. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just that way. That's how I feel it is. But I don't think you should go into a relationship trying to find yourself.
You should know who you are before. Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think you should be going into it to try to find who you are. Yeah, just going into it to build a better life and go forward from there. Like, trying to figure out who you are at that point. Yeah.
But to answer your question, Azizi, real quick, I mean, I think, like, saying that I want to be a provider, the line is very clear. So if I try to impose, like, let's say, like, my views on my significant other, or tell her, like, oh, you cannot work, stay at home, be in the kitchen, cook for the family, obviously then you're a borderline of misogyny.
Yeah,
but, like,
weird.
Saying that I want to be a provider in the sense that, like, I want to have to give my partner the option that if she decides to wake up the next month and say, you know what, I'm tired of this working or having to worry about making income, I want to be in a position where it's like, okay, that's fine, because I have enough bag where that is not a problem. There are situations where there are people who depend very aggressively on that double income, where if somebody doesn't bring the second income, maybe bills will not get paid, or kids are not going to be able to go to school or something will happen. I don't want to be in that position. I want to be in a position where if my wife wakes up the next day and say, you know what, I don't want to work anymore. It's like, okay, cool. We chilling. We have enough money in the bank. We got enough in investments. We got enough cash flow coming in where that is absolutely an option. So that's just a simple way I would explain it, to separate it from misogyny.
That's basically like the same view I have, but like I also have like a different opinion in a way. So it's like same thing that David said. If I'm at the point where that is happening, that is perfect. But then you also have to consider like majority of people in the world are not at that point yet. So like let's say two people get married, right? I think the first thing you should decide is, okay, what is your long-term goal in this relationship? Because if you don't tell me that you want to stop working, right? And I have the mentality that, oh, we're going to be doing 50-50 for the rest of our life, that becomes an issue, right? So when you get into a relationship, make sure you talk to your significant other. What are your goals and plans so you can work towards it?
Yeah.
If I know that you're going to stop working in year 1, year 2, I'm going to make sure by year 1, year 2 that we have something set up so you can stop that. I'm going to make sure our budget is set up so that you can stop that. Yeah. Like we have many relationships where, okay, so I'm just going based off what I hear on social media where the girl doesn't want to like, the split is 100-0, right? It's 100-0. But then, for instance, something happens, right? That because that leads to, you know, very significant problems. So I think that's something you should talk about when you start a relationship or start a marriage that is very successful, you know, for your finances.
Yeah, right. I guess. Right. But that's a theory though. People don't communicate in real life.
So switching gears a little bit, let's go to the vibe check. So the vibe check for today is: are we for separate bank accounts or joint bank accounts? I want to hear your opinion. You haven't said much.
I would say for both. So we can both have, it's never all or nothing, right? We can both have our separate accounts and then maybe have a joint account for bills that we agree, okay, every month, this is how much we're going to pay into that account for savings, stuff like that. So we can both have our separate accounts for our own enjoyments. Like you don't have to see every single purchase I make for myself. And then we can have a joint account for, you know, household stuff.
How do you envision that split? Would you want majority of your money going into your personal one, or would you say majority should go into the joint one that goes towards savings for the family and household expenses?
Honestly, it's hard to tell right now. I can't say I've ever thought about this before. So
all right. So what you say? What you say, Joe?
My initial thoughts is separate, but based off of what Uzizi said right now, I could consider that. But where's the funds gonna come from? My thoughts right now is, you know how we were talking about the 50-30-20 the other day? Yeah. I feel like within like maybe the ones we could budget, you could start, that could be part of that budget that goes into that together account or whatever. But that's just an idea. I don't know how it works. I don't know the logistics and stuff.
Yeah. Ife, what are your thoughts?
See, no simping here, Sean. I'm just putting it out there. But me personally, like when I want to get married, I just gotta put it out there. When I get married, right, I, like David said, like I want to be, you know, a provider. Like I want to make sure everything is good in the house so that I can take care of everything, right? And I feel like that's just easier for me to do if, like, let's say I have my own, you know, separate bank account. I know what's happening to the finances. Like she has her own bank account. She got her own thing going on. But when it comes, if I'm paying all the bills and everything, like I know I am controlling this. And like I've seen certain situations where things just go sideways and you might have been providing for everything, but then the person you're with just has a bad financial moment and set you back. So like, if I'm going to be like, you know, paying all these bills, making sure our family's correct, I feel like I don't need a joint bank account except for like savings and stuff and investments and stuff, which is completely different. But like on a day-to-day spending, it's like, I don't need a joint bank account.
Okay. So this is my opinion, and this is the best way for me to structure your finances, and I'll give numbers. So if you guys are comfortable and open enough for each other, obviously, combine your finances together and then combine your income, your cash flow, whether it's your salary, businesses, whatever your total cash flow is monthly, and lay it all down the table. Like, this is the best way to really plan for it, because like I love Jose's response. It doesn't need to be an all-in or one. There's a way to do it where each person still has their own spending for whatever they want personally, but the way to make sure that the family or household is taken care of. So if I say I have a total household and we're making $10,000 to $20,000 a month, just an example. So you first want to budget. Remember, so we talked about budgeting, the 45, 35, 20 rule. 45% goes towards your needs, max. 35% goes towards your savings, and then 20% goes towards your wants, right? Wants means like, your personal spending, whatever. So first of all, you want to make sure that, first thing, as for healthy finances, your needs, as your total household spending, your kids, your household, whatever it is following in the 45% bracket. And so you want to make sure that's taken care of. And then 35%, you want to make sure that you guys have built your emergency savings. So whatever your total monthly needs are, you want to make sure you save 6 months at least worth of that, especially if you have a family. You want to make sure you've saved. So if your total monthly needs as a household is like $3,000, you want to make sure you've saved 6 months worth, at least $18,000 plus. You could also, if you are able to aggressively save up to a year's worth. So that's what I'll call mega emergency savings. And so after the emergency savings has been built up, the remaining 35% then can go towards jointly, because obviously I don't believe in holding more cash than needed. The remaining 35% can go towards like investing. So everything on top of the emergency savings will go towards investing. You guys can have like a joint investing account, whether it's a mutual fund, savings account, whatever. And then you can have your own also household brokerage account that you also spend for investing. And then the remaining, whatever you split, 20% can go individually to you guys' wants. So like if your girl wants to go shopping and she wants to have like monthly trips for girls' nights or girls' trips, so you just split that accordingly. Also you guys' nights, whatever it is. So that's the best way for me to properly structure your finances. Yeah, Zazie?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like you're coming at this from an almost privileged standpoint, because
oh my god,
think about it, what's the average salary for a single person in America?
35K.
Okay, and you said, and that's before taxes, right?
Yeah.
And you said you're assuming that the joint income a month is 10K.
It's 240K, bro.
So
no, 10K is 120. That's, I mean,
you said 10 to 20, so I was like, let me just use the higher end.
Yeah, if each of you are making 120K a year, yeah.
Yeah, but she's like, that's a privileged standpoint.
Okay, no, I agree. That's not the norm. Okay, give me a number. Let's do it. Give me a number.
The household income is 75K. Go.
Household income is 75K. So 75K divided by 12. Household income monthly gross is 6,250, right? Let's just say 70% of that after taxes, they're bringing in 4,380. Let's say 4,380, right? So together as a family, you come together. Your needs should not exceed 45%. So your needs should not exceed 1971. How do you do that? Get a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment that costs you $1,100. That is very possible here in Atlanta. Or obviously you're not gonna live in like the Buckheads. You're gonna probably live outskirts. You can find some in Lawrenceville that costs you $1,100. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I talk about all the time. Like, if you're not earning enough, you gotta cut according to your cloth. So I'm sorry about that. So it's not gonna be convenient where you're living in the city, but you gotta live a bit out. So you gotta plan and budget. And so 1971 is what you're working with, $1,200, and then you have an additional money for family groceries and kids. And I'm assuming your kids will go to public school, right? So the point is you're working with close to $2,000 for your monthly household needs. So you said 4,380, and then for savings, your target should be 35% of that. So your target should be saving at least $1,500 monthly as a family. Obviously, I do understand that emergencies come up, especially with kids. That's the point that you build your emergency savings. Emergencies will tap into your emergency funds, and then the goal is to rebuild it back once it depletes. And remember, since you're spending $2,000 a month on your needs, your goal should be saving 6 months worth. So you should want to save up to $12,000 in your emergency funds. And then remaining 20% of your 4,380 will go to like $880. We'll go for, have 1 or 2 dinner or date nights as a couple, and for whatever it is you want to do. Granted, as a family, if you have a family of, let's say 4, husband, wife, and 2 kids, and you're $75,000, it's not the ideal. You're not going to be living a very super comfortable lifestyle. It's just something that you're going to have to plan according to make work. You got to always work with that 45, 35, 20 rule. I'm speaking from my perspective. Like I said, I understand. I recognize there's a privilege when I said that, but I'm speaking from my perspective and what I'm just saying what I would do in my situation, right?
I just want us to always remember that,
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Disclaimer. Quick
Disclaimer. Quick
disclaimer,
for sure.
This thing is,
Yes.
in theory, sounds good. It's
Yeah,
not
there's a
always
lot.
practical.
Yeah.
I think we need like a siren whenever we're saying something controversial, like a siren that says disclaimer or something.
All right, but with that, we're wrapping up. It's 1:38, so let's just wrap up here real quick. This was a good talk. I mean, we talked about would you date somebody who earns less than you? Zazie clearly said you got to be at a certain tax bracket. So shout out to Zazie. We talked about who would pay for the. We talked about who would pay for the first date. We talked about what you envision as the ideal balance in terms of investing and being conservative in a relationship. We also talked about joint versus separate savings, and we gave real practical scenarios. Understand that obviously. What we're saying is just personal opinions. You understand that a lot of things do come up and things do come in that can mess up plans and mess up situations. We're just talking about ideally that should be your target. So that's the whole point of budgeting. We understand that life situations come up that will affect your budget, especially on a monthly basis. But the goal is, provided that you're being proactive and conscious about the budget, you have in mind what I always tell like people I consult with. You have in mind what the target is. Because you can't be earning $4,380 and you want to go live in a $2,500 a month loft, which takes more than 50%, right, of your take-home pay. That is irresponsible. So you got to make sure whatever you're doing is supposed to serve as a guide to help direct you in where you're going. So with that, I think that's all I've really got to say. Anybody else got anything to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, it's a great topic. I think we need a part 2 of this because there's so many other things we didn't talk about. But same thing David said, when you're getting into a relationship, keep in mind that you're in it for the long game, man. You don't know what's
No, I didn't say that. No. Have your fun. I didn't say that.
No, I'm talking
if you want to be in your 20s and want to wild out, do your thing. I didn't say you got to be in there for the long run. I'm saying
no.
I'm just saying when you reach that. No, hold on. I just want to clarify. What I said was when you reach that point where you're looking for somebody to settle down with, finances is definitely one of the things you want to bring up. I'm not saying, listen, if you're living your city girl life, your city boy life, you should not even care about anything we discussed today. Jaye, live your best life. But when you reach that point,
disclaimer.
But when you reach that point where this is somebody you're thinking about settling down with, these are definitely conversations you want to start having. But please don't be that weirdo who's bringing this up on the first date. Don't bring this up on the first date. Like, that is weird as hell. Don't do that. Don't be bringing this up on the first date. How are we gonna split our finances? Please do not do that. All right. You got any last comments before we wrap up?
Basically, what tip of the day is should communicate when it's time, I guess.
Yeah.
And there might be an app in here somewhere. Someone should make an app that helps females track tax bracket for whoever they want to do.
What?
No, I'm playing.
Uzazi be like on the first date. Uzazi be like, send me your W2.
What is your tax bracket?
No. Send me your W2. Send me your W2. Let me see where you at, bro. Let me see where you at.
Let me see what I'm working with.
But for real, though, that's not true. Disclaimer, that's not true. I guess what I took away from today's session was it really all depends on what you're okay with. If you're fine with, as a female, being the breadwinner, that's fine. Like that's your choice.
Right.
If you're fine with not being breadwinner, that's also fine. But also we should, I guess we females or girls, sorry to say females, sounds so
weird, right?
Girls already go through so much, so I guess it's not bad to want to be treated, but you should also know what you bring into a relationship and what you have to offer as well. Don't expect anybody to be your dad, but it's also nice to be treated nicely by the guy as well. So
Facts.
It goes both ways. So
If
it
you're
all
not
depends on
trying
where it
to
goes.
treat Uzezi right, don't
Yo,
hit that
Bro,
alright,
line. though.
relax.
After
Don't hit that line, though.
Yo,
And
after today,
lastly,
you have to do easy, man.
yeah. And lastly,
After today, you have to
if you're not trying to bring your resume and your W-2 laminated to the first day with Uzazi, forget about it. Anyways, with
I'm
that,
putting this out.
we're signing out. We're signing out.
Sign it out. Sign
Y'all
it
be
out.
easy. Take care. Peace.
Yeah, gang.